Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. If you are a new subscriber, welcome, and if you are a return subscriber, welcome back. All the makeup that I'll be using in this video will be listed down below. Let's get straight into the video. So for this particular video, this is a full get ready with me. That means hair and clothes included. So I'm just deciding what I wanted to wear for the day, and I'm gonna go ahead and go with this t-shirt, and I also put it with some leopard leggings, and it went so cute together. Now I'm just deciding which shoes and purse I'm gonna go with, and you will see which ones I picked at the end, so stay tuned. And I was gonna wear my hair down at first, but I was like, nope, I feel like putting it up. So I'm just detangling my hair and brushing it out, making sure that I brush in the direction that I want my ponytail to go. And I wanted a high ponytail, not a low one. So that's what I'm doing now. It's just brushing all the hair to the middle. As I'm doing this, I'm still detangling. And I decided to put it in a ponytail first before adding on my products. That way I don't have a whole lot to deal with. And right now I'm just adding on some jam just to help lay everything into place. You don't have to use jam if you don't want to. You can go ahead and go in with gel, but jam works for me. And right here I added some gel, and I added the gel directly onto the brush and applied it to my hair. I love this gel because it really holds my hair into place. Like when I say nothing moves, nothing moves. And I'm just going to continue to brush that until I'm satisfied with how everything going. Now I'm just going to remove the ponytail holder and continue to brush that hair up. And I will continue to do this until I feel like everything is flat as I can get it. But my hair is a little thick. It don't look like it because it's straightened, but it is. Now I'm just going and applying the ponytail holder back, and I do wrap it around 3 times just to make sure that it's nice and secure. And now I'm going in and do my little bun, and I really don't care if the bun is super tight or loose, but it kept falling apart, so I did have to go in with another scrunchie later on. Now I'm just applying some, I really don't remember what this is called, but everything will be listed down below, to my edges, just to make sure that they stay in place, because since I'm in the desert, regular edge control has not been working for me. Now that I got my edges the way that I want them, I'm gonna go ahead and apply a scarf just to help lay those hairs down. So when I go to put on my clothes, I don't have to worry about having to redo my edges. Now I'm about to fill in my eyebrows, and I like to take this brow pencil, first spoolie out your brows in the direction that your hairs grow. I like to start off by outlining the bottom portion of my brows first, making sure I keep that line as straight as possible. And all I'm doing is just tracing my natural eyebrows. I'm not adding anything extra. And now I'm just filling in the front portion before adding the line at the top. For the most part, you don't have to add the line at the top if you have a freshly new waxed or arch eyebrows. I just like to do this because I love the way it makes my eyebrows look and make it look more fuller. Now that my brows are all finished, and I shocked myself with how fast I finished it, it's time to clean them up with some concealer. And I'm just applying a little bit of concealer underneath my brow bone first, because that seems to be the area that needs it the most, and making sure that that line in the back is nice and sharp. And it may look like I added on a lot of concealer back there, but everything worked out and I did not have to go in with a second concealer like I normally would, and there's nothing wrong with that. And now I'm just dragging that concealer all the way down, making sure that I take my time around my brows so that I don't mess them up. And before I go in with another concealer for the rest of the lid, I want to blend out that concealer first and also pat the concealer in to help it dry down even further. Now I'm applying an even lighter concealer for the rest of the lid, making sure that I only add a little bit at a time and then blend that in, making sure that I fade the edges together so everything flows together. And as you can see, it don't even look like I used two different color concealers. I'm just taking a little bit of translucent powder just to dry that concealer down so that I don't receive any creasing throughout the rest of the process. I'm gonna do the same steps on this side. And now I'm just going to dust away that excess powder, making sure that I use a light hand. Now I'm going to use that first concealer to fill in the top portion of my brows, making sure that I take my time when doing this step because I don't want to have to redo my brows all over again. Now I'm going to go in with this accent brush and blend out the edges of that concealer, just so when I go to apply my foundation, everything flows together. I don't want any type of harsh lines, because if you let a concealer sit for too long, it will dry down. Now I'm going in with my primer. This is my first time using this primer, so I will give an update on how I like it later on, but I had it for a while. I just never used it. Primers for me is an iffy situation because sometimes it don't work for me, but I will let you guys know later on. And for this foundation, this is the end of this bottle. This was the very end. As y'all can see, I did not use that much foundation in this video because there's barely anything left. So I will go ahead and open up the new one now, but I wanted to finish this one off before I end up opening up a brand new bottle. And since it wasn't a lot of foundation in there, I just decided to buff it into my face versus the stippling method. It works just the same for me. It comes out the same, but I wanted to make sure that I had enough coverage for my entire face, which I'm surprised I did, plus a little extra to apply more. So it all worked out at the end. And for the concealer, I'm going to be wearing two different ones. So the first layer is deep and the second layer is going to be tan sand deep. And I applied deep first because deep is like a darker shade. I could have just actually went with just deep by itself. That's what I normally go with. But I wanted to see how both applied together. And you can go in with one layer first, dry that down and apply the second layer. But I wanted to use them both at the same time. I'm also going to apply this on my nose as well as the center of my forehead. And I did not let this sit for that long before blending out. And as you can see on the forehead, I always blend out my edges first to make sure that that is nicely blended so everything flows together before blending out that center. And to help blend out the edges even further, I'm going in with my foundation brush to do so, as well as a little on top. There is no foundation on my brush, but whatever is left over, that's what I will use to help blend it out. I'm also going to blend out the edges underneath my eyes, making sure that I really take my time with this. I know it may look like I'm moving a little fast, but of course I'm not. And I'm really just pressing that in. And I love the coverage that both of these concealers give together. Just the coverage that the Tarte Shape Tape gives in general, I love. I wish I would have done one side at a time so you can see the difference that it's making. And I'm just continuing to blend that out. And when I get to the inner corner of my eye, I'm lightly tapping that in because I don't want to remove most of that product. And now I'm going in with that foundation brush to blend out the edges, just so I don't have any harsh lines. Before going in with my translucent powder, I'm just making sure that I blend out that concealer one more time so I don't set any of the creasing. Now I will have creasing regardless. It's natural, but I don't want to set any unnecessary creasing that I may get after. And I just applied a light layer of that powder, and I will go in with some more powder later on just to make sure that I set everything into place before completely finishing. I'm gonna do the same thing on the opposite side. I forgot that I had that concealer on my nose. This concealer does dry down a little fast, so you might want to move a little faster than what I did, but it's okay because it worked out in the end. Now I'm just going in with some bronzer just to contour my nose a little bit, and I'm just applying a light layer using an eyeshadow brush. And when applying this, I'm just making sure that it stays within that line that I created with that concealer. Even if it goes over a little bit, I just will have to go back in with the concealer, but I wanted to make sure that I did not apply too much of this bronzer as well, because a little goes a long way. Plus this bronzer is very pigmented, so you really don't need that much unless you like it. Whatever works for you, do it. And now I'm just using a different eyeshadow brush to help blend that out. And I could use my finger as well, but I wanted to make sure that I didn't smudge anything. That's why I went in with this eyeshadow brush. I'm also going to apply this bronzer onto the lid, mainly around the transition color will go, because at first I was not going to apply any type of eyeshadow at all. I was just going to keep it very natural around the lids, but then I decided, girl, eyeshadow is your favorite part. Why not apply any? I'm just applying that bronzer everywhere where you would normally contour at. So my cheekbones as well as my hairline, making sure that I, again, do not apply too much because it is very pigmented. And I am taking my time when applying this, but I had to speed up the video just a little bit so that it's not too long. And to help blend out that bronzer, I'm going back in with my foundation brush again, so I don't have any type of harsh lines whatsoever. And I am taking my time with doing this step as well. Now I'm going in under my eyes with some pressed powder. And this is just to help set the under eyes even further, as well as give it a more smoother look versus how it would be if you was just to use a loose powder. I'm also going to be using that pressed powder to set that concealer on my forehead as well as my nose. And you will see me use this pressed powder again in the video, because anywhere that you apply any type of concealer or foundation, you need to set it with some powder. I don't have to set the bronzer because it's already a powder, but you will see me go over that as well. And as I always say, this part is optional. Some people may not like it, but I love it. So I'm going in with some translucent powder to carve out where I applied that bronzer, just to give that a crispy line. That is the only place that I will want like a harsh line, but not too harsh. And you will see what I mean in just a minute. Now I'm going in with that pressed powder again and blending away that powder so that I don't have any type of white cast on my face. It may look like it, but it's because of how the lighting is. I only use my ring light, no other light whatsoever. And I only did it this way because I like the way that it gives more so a relaxing vibe for me. And I'm just using that same pressed powder all over the rest of my face just to set everything. Now I'm going in and blending out that bronzer on the outer portion of my eyelids before going in with this eyeshadow palette. And I love the bronzer because it can not only be used as a bronzer, but you can also use it for eyeshadow as well. Now I'm starting off with the lightest color in the palette, and normally I start off with the darkest, but I'm applying this to the inner corner of my lid, making sure that I press it into place before blending out those edges because I want it to be a little bit pigmented, not super pigmented. But this palette is actually really good. I love the way the shadows blend very nicely. It's not patchy at all. Now I'm going in with like this peachy mauve shade, and I'm just applying that right after that inner corner shade, and I'm blending out those edges together. And if this other shade happens to kind of blend in and make that first shade disappear, it's okay, because you always can go back in with that first shade and making sure that everything is nicely blended and faded together. I like to blend when it comes to my eyeshadows because I want everything to blend and fade together without any harsh lines. Now I'm going in with a darker shade, and that shade is blending in with that bronzer, which I absolutely love, so I did not have to really do too much back there. My main focus really was that center shade as well as the inner corner. And I'm going to go ahead and apply my eyeliner as well as my mascara off camera so that, again, the video don't be too long. Now I'm applying some lip liner, and I started off with a brown lip liner to outline my lips. And then I went in with like a reddish, burgundy-ish lip liner as well. Again, everything that I use will be listed down below, with a little bit of this nude for the center, but this nude was not really working the way I wanted to, so I went ahead and applied some concealer to the center of my lips, and I love the way everything turned out. Now to set everything together, I'm gonna go in with some setting spray, and I added a little too much, but that's okay because it will help lock everything into place just the way I like. Hope you all enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. Again, everything will be listed down below. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss whenever I post another video. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.